Hi, and welcome to session 4 of the Achieving More Results module. Next, we're going to talk about the fun part. At least for me, this is the fun part. I know other people don't like this. Kristen doesn't like this, but for me, this is the fun part. You've gone through your SWOT analysis, figured out where do we need to play, what are our most important themes that we need to focus on in the coming months and years to help us accomplish our mission. And while I think it's the fun part, there's also the hard part. How do you actually go about turning this into a strategy? And that's really what the rest of the sessions in this module are about, is how do you take the SWOT analysis that you've done and turn it into a strategy for your organization? So as you're looking at the different themes that you have, you're going back and you're looking at, okay, what are our strengths? How can we use them to take advantage of opportunities? How can we use our strengths to combat the upcoming threats? Review your weaknesses, determine what you can do to improve them. How can you turn your threats into opportunities? Remember your mission and your vision and your values as you're going through this. Be thinking about, is our strategy aligned with our mission, our vision, and our values? You're thinking about, from our current position, what are we going to do to get to where we want to be, to get us to that next key, crucial stage in getting towards accomplishing our vision and our mission? There's so many different ways you can go about doing this. Again, some of this takes practice. I encourage you to, as best you can, find different examples, maybe do some of this ahead of time and think about what you would do in certain situations. But be patient with yourselves, be patient with your team. This is something that you're going to be good at, I promise, because I think there's a certain temperament of people who are taking this type of course who are just able to really take that. And if you know your vision, if you know your mission, if you know your values, your strategy will flow from those things. So for each of those themes, you're going to come up with an overall goal and figure out the steps for getting there. I know that I make it sound so simple when you say it like that, but it really isn't. And you don't have to do this linearly. You might do another brainstorm style. Just start throwing out, what are things that we have to do? What are actions we have to take? What should our goals and deadlines be along the way? And then you're going to start prioritizing that list, both in terms of importance and in the order that it needs to be done. And so these are, what do I have to do? I've got step 1, I've got step 2, I've got step 3, and at the end, it's going to be your strategy has been achieved. It's going to get you to that next stage. So when you've done that, you've produced your list of actions, you've started writing out your goals, your deadlines, and this is something that could be fluid. You don't want it to be, but it could be fluid. Things change. You have to react to different scenarios, but determine what capabilities you will need, what technologies, what systems you need to have in place. Do you need to hire more people? Do you need to hire different people? Do you need to change the way you go about doing what you do? Do you need to change your activities, right? What do we need to do to get to where we want to be? I like to put everything on the table. If it's not part of your mission, if it's not crucial to your mission, your vision, your values, it's up for grabs for being changed, for being cut. You can add, be creative, try different things, experiments. It's something that you're really going to is going to really be important for you to take a step-by-step approach to accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So I want to go through with you, what are those action steps? How are you kind of putting this together, focusing on your overall strategy? Again, that's how you will achieve your mission, your goals, your objectives, your tactics and action plans. This is how you're going to put together that step-by-step plan that we were just talking about. So you want to be thinking about with this when you're looking at What are we trying to do around this theme that we've identified from a SWOT analysis? And your goal is what you want to achieve. It's a milestone in implementing your strategy. It could be that you need to increase organizational efficiency. It could be that you need to provide better service to your donors. Something you want to keep small in numbers so that your team can remember them and you can focus properly on each one, allow it to be flexible. These are goals that are really bite-sized, and it could be that you have multiple goals for getting to your end goal. It could be that you start at your end goal and work your way backwards. But this is, what are the milestones along the way? Think of them almost as, how do we know that we're making progress? Next are your objectives. This is how you turn that general statement of the goal into specific, quantifiable, time-sensitive statements. For example, you're going to lower operational costs by 15% in the next 3 months. You're going to reduce the callback time anytime a donor has an inquiry to no more than 8 hours. These are something that you can say, yes, measurably, we are doing this, and this is helping us get to our goal. You're going to have oftentimes multiple objectives as part of determining the success of that goal. And these goals and objectives and a few different terms that really play into this are stuff that Kristen's going to actually talk about more later on in different sessions of this module. So I don't want to spend too much time on that here and really move on to your tactics and your action plans. These are statements, like I mentioned earlier, that are specific actions or activities that will be used to achieve a goal within the constraints of that objective. It's going to be very concrete. Step 1, step 2, step 3. For how we're going to bring, say, reducing the callback time for a donor inquiry to no more than 8 hours. Okay, right now we're at 16 hours. So what do we need to do to get from 16 to 8? Well, we need to make sure that there is somebody always available to answer the phone. We need to make sure that we've got somebody who is constantly checking that email. And it could be different somebodies, but maybe that's your specific action plan. It's going to be that you're going to have a dashboard to put all your donor inquiries up and track them and who's responded and how long it took. These are very specific things that you're going to do so that you can get from where you are now with that measurable goal, the measurable objective, to where you want to be. So in future videos within this module, we're really going to talk about turning this into one coherent, communicable plan that you can use to get everybody on the same page. All of your stakeholders within the organization, your volunteers, your donors, everyone on your team, everybody who has some role within the organization knows what the strategy is and why the strategy is important, how the strategy is getting you to achieve your vision and your mission. And so we can't really emphasize enough just how important it is to communicate your strategy to everybody, your staff, your volunteers, your board. You need to have buy-in. Everyone needs to feel like they are an integral part of your mission. And so you're going to sit with everybody and say, here's how our strategy now affects you. This is how your job is going to change. What questions do you have? What can I do to support you? How can I make it easier for you? Communicate. Anticipate what the objections are going to be. Come up with different ways that you can overcome those objections. Ways that you can say, okay, I know you're not going to like this, but you are going to like this. Or you're going to have to be making a lot of hard decisions. It could mean that you've got to let people go as you're going through this if they don't get on board. But you really have to communicate and have everybody on the same page, moving in the same direction, in step, marching to the beat of the same drum. It's really important that you're doing this so that everybody knows what everybody else is doing and has all those things in mind. You can never stop communicating your mission, your vision, your values, your strategy with your team and with your stakeholders. It should be worked into everything into everything you do, your hiring, your training, your performance evaluations, your external communications, your internal communications. Review it at your regular team meetings. Bring it up with your board. Maybe you even want to include it in donor communications. We've often sent out our strategic plans to our top donors, ask them for input. It has to really be worked up into everything you do, and not just by words, but by substantive actions, especially from leadership. You are the role model as the leader of your team, your department, your organization. You're the role model. So you really have to be putting into practice and following your mission, your vision, your values, and your strategy. Really, no amount of communication is too much. If you think, oh my gosh, I'm just pounding it over and over and over again with everybody, they must be getting sick of it. You're not even there yet. Keep going. No amount of communication is too much. Be constantly thinking about it. I often will have whatever strategic plan is relevant at the moment. I've got it up in my office. I've got my vision, my mission, my values. I've got them with me. I'm constantly reminded. I have them on my phone. I have even at times made them some of these parts the wallpaper of my phone or my computer, just so I could be constantly reminded, and so it really sinks in. And so the next videos we're going to talk about how you can make this happen, how you can put this into practice, and how you can be successful now that you've got your written strategy, how you can be successful at actually making it happen.